What it do?
Let's get it. Here we go. What it do, man?
The Kang.
Yo, it's popping off out there.
I'm not mad about the energy right now.
I listen. I only have one. Listen, I love Ti, and I think he's capable of competing in this battle. But
Hmm.
listen, I don't know if 50 is the one that you want to get into these type of things with. Not only is he physically imposing and rolls with goons, real goons.
I
He
mean, I feel like
also,
Ti knows people down
yeah,
in
I'm
Atlanta
sure.
too.
I'm sure. Yeah. And he's been caught with several weapons several
This
times.
is true.
Like they had an ATF investigation on him. That's government.
Yes.
That's federal.
Yes.
So, I mean, yeah, like they got him like the night of the BET Awards or something like that, right? I remember
Something like that. Yeah, it was some
that.
award. Yeah.
It was crazy. Yeah. So, I mean, look, they're both a little crazy. They're not like, I'm just saying, 50, when he engages, he doesn't stop
And
until
that
you're vanquished.
and I
So,
think that's the thing with 50 is he knows no bounds.
yeah.
There's no line that he won't cross.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to get in the booth and give us a song,
No,
but
but
I like what T.I. is doing. I'm not going
I
to lie.
I think the more quiet he is the more scared they should be right now. Because what
That's
I
valid.
feel like is happening is he is gathering information, and that could be fatal.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
could be crazy. I don't know, man. 50's just not somebody I would want to get into a rap battle, sure, but into like this back and forth. And then they talk. His son is on here talking about his mom.
Talking
It's
crazy. Yeah.
even crazier. He talking crazier about 50's mom than 50 is talking about his mom and
Yep.
Ti's wife. It's gotten
Yep.
out of control. It's getting out of control.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Uh,
some
it,
real dark stuff coming.
yeah. I mean, I'm hoping we don't get to that point, but like you said, 50 knows no bounds. So
Yeah,
like, if you take it there, I'm gonna take it further.
exactly. That's what
You
I
know.
fear. That's what I think is about to happen.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. It's
We'll
crazy.
see. We'll
Yeah,
see.
let's see how it plays out.
Um, Heat check. Heat check. I'm
Yes.
Johnell. I'm with my guy. This is Matt Price. Cash walk in, and this is Heat check powered by Designated Report. Man, we're fresh off of the All Star weekend. We talked about that last week. We've gotten back into the swing of things in the league, and it's gonna be. I feel like it's gonna be very fun. The
Yeah.
last 20,
25 games or
25
so. Yeah.
games. Um, we saw the Pistons beating up on Wemby earlier in the week.
Other way
People
around.
were,
Other way
I mean,
around.
beating up on him like physically.
Yeah. They be
You said
fouling.
they do be
They lead
fouling.
the
They
league
be
in
fouling.
fouls.
OKC be fouling a lot too,
Oh,
but
the two of them. They're the two. They foul so much, and it's veiled as physical play.
yeah,
Come on. They can't call them all. That's what it is. That's what the game plan is.
I
Foul,
guess.
and they won't call them all. So you're gonna get away with at least a few of them.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see, we'll see.
Yeah.
But again, I'm excited because it does feel like things are starting to heat up a little bit. Obviously, we got the play in, so the majority of the teams are still in contention to potentially make the playoffs. So it's going to be fun.
Did I
It's
call
definitely
the
going to be
Charlotte
fun.
Hornets? Did I call the Charlotte Hornets rise?
You didn't mention them at the
I
start of
did.
the
Yeah,
year,
yeah,
but I would say in the last month or so, you
yeah.
said that they're turning a corner.
They got something going down there. They got something
They
going.
are. They are.
I hope that they can get through the play in and get to face Detroit as an 8 seed because that would be fun.
It would be fun. For what it's worth, they are a very fun team to watch.
Yes.
I don't know if they are good enough to like make a run should
No,
they make the
no, no.
playoffs.
I think they get a
But
game off them though.
they'll be fun to watch. Whether it's Melo hit 10 threes or whatever, something crazy. Con Knipple is playing incredible. Like,
Incredible.
I mean, rookie of the year is gonna go to Cooper Flag, but like
Yes, it was written.
Khan should absolutely be in the conversation.
Definitely.
And I would argue that he probably should be
He
the rookie of
has
the year.
he has passed VJ Edgecombe over the last
Yes.
month or so. VJ
Yes.
Edgecombe, who I was all over in the first 2 months of the season, he got off to a
Yep.
great start, and he's kind of cooled off a little bit. He's putting up more rookie type numbers now, but
Yeah.
yeah, and whereas Cooper Flag was putting up rookie type numbers, and now he's transcending
Yes.
to franchise player. Which is kind of why Dallas has been moving the way that they've been moving in their front office. But yeah, man, Con Knueppel is a fun, exciting player, sharp shooter,
Yep.
capable on defense. And I think his demeanor is kind of rubbing off on the team. Like, he's a worker. He's just showing up and getting business. And that team was a team that was plagued by immaturity. And I
Yep.
feel like that's what we're seeing them turn the corner now. LaMelo is going to be LaMelo, but the rest of those guys, they seem to be taking a more professional approach now, and it's exciting to see them. Hopefully they can get over 500 and really make a push at this thing to try to get back in the action, because they're only what 5 games behind Philly to get into the sixth, and they've already been on a 9-game winning streak. They beat some good
Yep.
teams along
Yep.
that way. So this is they're the real deal. They got some really exciting players. Brandon Miller,
Yep.
LaMelo Ball, and Con Knueppel. This young player is nice too. And then you got the Bridges and those guys as well. They brought in Kobe White. So I
Yes,
like
they did.
everything that they're doing down there. The guard play is crazy that they got.
Yep.
And what's his name? Eric Collins? Is that the broadcaster
Oh my
that does it?
God.
We
Bro,
got to get
he
him
he gets
national.
so hyped.
We
Yes.
got to get him
We
national.
need him. We need him in the playoffs. We need him
Yo,
on a
for real.
national broadcast.
We need him. We got to get him national. I know, Charlotte. I'm sorry, we don't want to steal him from him. He can stay local, but we got to get him on some national games, like
Yeah, he gets
NBC.
so hype. I love
Somebody's
it.
got to call him. ESPN. Somebody call this guy and get him on games. He is incredible. He's like, LaMelo had a stretch where he hit like these bomb threes the
Yep.
other day. He's like, ah! Like, it's just so much energy. I love his calls, man. He's incredible.
Yeah, yeah, and he's been that way. Like
Yeah.
I feel like every year he'll give us like 1, 2, 3 calls where he's
Yeah.
just like out of his mind. He's going crazy. But again, like every time he pops up on a big play,
Yeah.
a game winner, a big dunk, he's going wild.
Nuts.
And I feel like
Ah!
as a fan, like if you're
Yeah.
in that market and
Yeah.
you get to hear him every night, it's got to get you hyped.
Yeah. Like, it's like, yo, he's a fan too.
Yeah,
Like, he's
yeah,
watching and he's broadcasting as if he's a fan too. I feel like he has these outbursts and he forgets that he's like calling a game. And I
yeah,
love that. I love that. And he's just like, oh, like it's just like the fan reaction. It's really refreshing, man.
yeah.
It's a new style. Broadcasters are usually very buttoned up and
Buttoned up.
it's
Yep,
so serious and everything like that. He's not a Bob Costas or Mike Tirico or even Mike Breen type. With the bang, he's got his own style, and I think that that's
I
something.
like it.
Get him on the national stage. I love
I
that.
like it. Um, so as we're winding down the season, obviously we're starting to talk end of season awards, whether it's MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, first, second, third team, all NBAs. It's been a discussion in the past, but I feel like this is the first year that it's really coming to a head. We have the 65 game rule that was incorporated in the last CBA negotiations. And basically, it was an attempt to get players to play
Yeah,
instead of them sitting out when they're healthy or whatever the case is. You essentially have a 17 game buffer throughout the regular season to miss games, whether it's injury or rest or whatever the case is. And then once you get to 18 and beyond, you're no longer eligible for these awards, these accolades. This year, and again, this applies to everything, but MVP has been an interesting conversation. Jokic is 1 game away from being ineligible for any MVP accolades. Wemby, 4 games. Luka, 5 games. SGA, 6 games. And Edwards, 7 games. Steph Curry, Giannis, LeBron, they weren't in the MVP talks, but they've already been eliminated from any of the, all NBA teams or anything like that at this point because of the number of games that they've missed. My question, I'm going to keep it MVP right now. Cade Cunningham, if these players, the players that I mentioned before, end up missing too many more games, they're no longer eligible for the MVP. Cade Cunningham, who has been the best player on one of the best teams in the league all year, might win MVP by default. That's not to say that Cade isn't deserving, but that there's definitely an argument for some of these other guys. I have two questions for you. If Cade Cunningham wins the MVP, and let's say SGA is not in the running, Jokic is not in the running, Wemby's not in the running, does that diminish what the MVP means to Cade Cunningham as a player and to us as fans?
No. I mean, we're talking about a guy who's averaging nearly a double-double with points and assists. And he's averaging 6 rebounds too. Like, I mean, he's doing this on a team that has the second most wins in the entire NBA. They're first place in the Eastern Conference. So I don't see the controversy of him being the most valuable player. If we're going to talk about actual value, he probably is the most valuable player to his individual team. You see, SGA hasn't played all these games. Oklahoma City has 44 wins. You see Jokic, he missed 20-something games. There's still, 36 wins, fourth place. Just got past for fourth place in the West. They were third until a night ago when Houston won. So, I'm not to say that Jokic isn't valuable to his team. He is, but I'm saying that their team survived. If you remove Cade Cunningham from this team, not only are they not 42-14, I don't know if they're even a play-in team. I think that
That's
they're
fair.
a lottery team without him and his contribution. He is the straw that stirs the drink. He is everything to them. Everything to them. You saw when they played the Spurs, they did a great job neutralizing him, and that shut everything else down. Nobody
Yep.
else really stepped up for them,
Yep.
and they find it hard to find scoring from other places, especially in the starting lineup. He is what makes them go. So, yeah, I don't think that he should look at it any different. I don't think that we as fans should look at it as like kind of like an asterisk, I guess, if you will, MVP. If he wins the MVP, he will be deserving of it. He's played the amount of games that are necessary for it. He's up to 50 starts now through their 54 games. So I mean, he hasn't missed that many. He hasn't missed many games, and yeah, he would be deserving of it.
So I think it's multi-layered. From if I'm Cade Cunningham, I'm with you. Like, that's something that you're never going to be able to take away from me. Add it to my Wikipedia page. Add it to my Hall of Fame, legacy.
Yeah.
Moving forward, as a player, I'm gonna take the MVP because that's a medal, a badge that you're never going to be able to take away from me. From a competitor's standpoint, if I'm Cade Cunningham, I'm kind of like, yes, I'm going to take the MVP, but damn, I really would have liked to go toe to toe with SGA or with Jokic because I don't want it to be a what if conversation. Yeah. What if SGA didn't get hurt? Does he win the MVP over me, over Cade? And that ties in directly to the fans. To this day, we're still talking about Steve Nash stealing at least one MVP from Kobe.
Yeah.
Are people 10 years from now going to say, oh, SGA got robbed of one, Jokic got robbed of one because they were injured or, whatever the case is. I don't know. Cade's you said, Cade's been the best player on one of arguably the best team all season. I'm not saying that he's not deserving. I'm just saying that there will be a narrative that is spun at some point if it's because these players are ruled ineligible because of how many games they played.
Yeah, I'm sure he would love to have gone toe to toe with them. We're asking these guys to do what? Play 3/4 of an 82 game season. So,
Yeah.
like you said, they got a 17 game. If 17 games is plenty to miss, they had their opportunity. I mean, for some people, it's rest, like you said. For some people, it's legitimate injury, like an SGA, like Jokic. These guys have missed Steph. They've missed time for legitimate injury, and that
Yep.
it's unfortunate, but Cade is out there. He's playing as physical as anybody. I'm sure
You're
when he
not
leaves the
wrong.
court, he is feeling it. It comes
Yep.
down to, do you want to be out there for your team? I think a little bit. These guys, they catch a little nick, a little bruise, a little soreness, and they sit out. And that's fine. Like, you want to prepare for the playoffs. I'm sure they have their reasons. But Cade not doing that. He's going out there every night and
That's
proving
fair.
his value to his roster. They're proving his value to the whole East, to everybody. He's proven that you guys probably could beat us without me, but with me, we're as good as anybody in this league, and I think that makes him more than deserving for the award, and he shouldn't have to. And no one else, like I said, should look at it any other way. He went out there and played for it. These guys had their opportunities to do it as well, and he was the man who came out best. His numbers measure up as good as anybody's
100%.
as anybody's
100%.
in the league. He would be more than deserving of it if he got it. So yeah, I mean, that's the way I see it.
So let me ask you this, and that's a perfect segue. Is the MVP, and again, I caveat this by saying that this very well could just be an anomaly. Like
Yeah,
this
yeah,
year, we had a bunch of people banged up, freak injuries, whatever. It happens. This is really the first time, the first year where this is like an actual conversation of like,
yeah.
hey, we got to take a step back
It's
because all of these players.
the
Yeah.
names that are involved. Yeah, the reigning
Um,
MVP. Two absolute first ballot Hall of Famers, three absolute first ballot
100%.
Hall of Famers, and then Ant-Man, who's a young player, hasn't gotten one yet.
Yep.
So for him to be so close to being excluded from, we know he's an All NBA player, but for him to be so close to being excluded from those type of accolades, yeah, it's unfortunate. It's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
So let's say it's not an anomaly. Let's say this kind of goes on for a little bit. The next CBA is in 2031, if I'm not mistaken. So we still got a few years of this 65 game rule. Is the MVP award, is that going to stay the most valuable player? Even, valuable is subjective, but the most valuable player, or does it potentially turn into the healthiest elite player in the league?
I think if you could play the games, if you're out there playing the games and your numbers stack up to these guys and those other guys are ineligible, then yeah, I think it'll come down to in the future whoever is eligible, with the games, and who's got the best number. They've always done that. It really should be the most outstanding player. I've been arguing that for years, but yeah, if we're gonna call it most valuable player, sure. But to show your value, to have value, you have to be out there.
That's fair.
In many ways, I think the only way your value would show from not being out there is if your team sucks. But they often give it to the best player on the best team, or somebody who just has an unbelievable breakout year. A la Russell Westbrook or James
Yep.
Harden when these guys were doing what
Yep.
they were doing. But yeah, when Giannis was the first seed, the Bucks were, and he had these incredible seasons. He was winning the MVP. Jokic, the Nuggets have been the cream of the crop in the West up until last season for all these years, and Jokic was winning MVPs all those years. Joel Embiid, he had that insane year.
Yep.
The Sixers weren't the best team in the league, but they were one of the best teams in the East, and he won the MVP because he had incredible, undeniable numbers, and he played for once in his career the amount of games that
Yeah.
are required to do so. That show how valuable you are to your team. So I think you got to be out there, man. That was the whole point of putting this in there. You got to be out there. You can't play 44 games and then be all NBA. Like that's unfair to the guys who are playing 72, 73, 77, 82 games, and putting up good performances. So I think it would be unfair to just because LeBron and Steph have always been All NBA and always been in MVP conversations, now in nominations and stuff like that. It'd be unfair to the guys who are actually out there putting up these great performances, whether it's a younger player or somebody who we're not thinking of right now that's been out there. I think that you should reward the guys who are out there actually playing and putting up great performances.
That's fair. That's fair, honestly. And I wasn't sure where you were gonna go with your answer, but that makes sense. Like,
Yeah,
we always argue availability is, one of it's like a key attribute for
best
players.
ability
If
is availability.
so yes, I understand the argument, especially as it pertains to MVP. That's the biggest award that you can get in the NBA aside from a championship and a Finals MVP. Um, but I wonder how this pans out for like all NBA teams because there is a typically there's a financial impact on this.
Yeah,
If you make an all NBA team, writing your contract, you're going to make a couple hundred
yeah,
thousand
at least
dollars,
a
a
couple
million
hundred
dollars,
K.
whatever the
Yeah,
case is. Um, so I'm wondering if come new CBA, negotiations, if they keep this, because I don't think you're wrong in what you're saying. Like, we want players to play.
yeah,
Like if you're hurt, okay, get healthy. You're not going to be in the running for some of these awards, but we want you on the court. So do what you got to do to get on the court. But when you have, if we get to a point where of the five people for first team All NBA, three of them end up not being eligible, and then you get guys from second team getting bumped up, third team getting bumped up, like are players at that point going to be like, whoa, 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 like that's my money that you're playing with now because I was hurt, you know.
yeah,
So I don't know. I'm interested to see how it pans out. Like I said, this might be an anomaly this year,
yeah.
and next year it's a nothing burger. But yeah, it's interesting. It's
I think
definitely
that's the
interesting.
idea. They want these guys out there. They want him on the floor. Adam Silver, for all his flaws, everything that he and his office have done, as far as changes, has been to make sure guys get on the
Players to
floor
play and
and
they're
play,
competitive.
and they're competing in front of the fans. He's been less of a player commissioner and more of a fan commissioner.
Yes,
He's big
yes.
on the experience. He wants people in the seats. He wants people in the building. He wants people at the events, and he wants them coming back. So, yeah, I mean, I'm in favor of that too. He's working for us.
Okay.
That's why. But I also do think this is out of there next CBA, or at least they're going to fight to get it out of there. The players, I mean,
I
yeah.
I agree from the players
Yeah,
side.
LeBron probably be out of there, but like he'll probably be retired by then. I would
Yeah,
imagine. But
I
yeah,
I
the
would think
players
so.
are going to be like, absolutely not. Also, Jalen Brunson should be getting some consideration for MVP now if we're going to be dropping people off like that. And
You're
he,
right.
yeah, let's go. Listen, if all these dudes drop off, I want first team All NBA, MVP, all that. We getting it. I got money on the line.
Ah, man. Um, so we talked about the playoffs a little bit.
Yeah,
I got a question for you because obviously we have the OKCs, we have the San Antonio Spurs, we got the Celtics who have been I still don't get how they're
surprising.
doing it, but they're
Very
still up
surprising.
there. Detroit is number one in the East. Those are the four teams I think nobody wants to play, especially if Boston can get back even a 75% Jason Tatum this year, which also
Yeah.
feels insane,
We have
but
our feelings about that, but we'll save that for if he actually
100%.
comes back. Because I'm like, yo, what is he doing? Is he serious?
Yeah,
It's so
I,
crazy.
I, I think, I really think he should, uh,
Yeah. I don't want to tell him
again,
what to do with his body. He knows,
yeah,
he feels it. He knows, like, this just seems so, it seems crazy to me. Because
the,
we both have torn our Achilles.
yes.
So this seems
The,
so crazy to me.
the competitor in me, and I'm sure in him, is if he can get back, if he feels 100% and he can get back, he's going to come back.
Yeah,
He wants to play, and I don't blame him for that at all. At the same time,
yeah.
if he were to come back before the end of the season, we're talking what, like 10
10
months?
months. Yeah, 11
That
months.
feels insane for me
Yeah.
to me for an Achilles,
And
which
are you
is
gonna be JT? Like the way he tore it was going after a loose ball, just trying to just like and it was just it. Like
yep,
going like just instinctively running towards the ball, not thinking about where his feet are, not thinking like can you play that way? He's a jittery player who's a lot and changing direction, and he's always dribbling. And can he be JT on a leg that is not gonna? Let's face it, like doctors are gonna tell him what they tell him. They'll say he's 100% ready for basketball activities. All of that, they're gonna say it, and it could be true. But are you ready for what it's gonna become? Like an intensity, the intensity of an NBA playoff
yep,
7-game series against the best teams,
yep,
the best teams. So I think it's just, it's asking so much of him. I can't imagine that Joe Mazzulla, like, he's not going to tell him not to do it. But I think if push comes to shove, they're going to be like, yo, I think we should look ahead to the future. He's still a young player.
yeah,
He's not even near 30.
yeah.
So I just think that he should chill.
I mean, I
And that's
feel
not even
like
speaking as a Knicks fan. I don't want to see JT get hurt.
no,
I
I
didn't
agree,
want
I
to see him
agree.
get hurt last year. I wanted to beat them with him on the team. Like,
Yep,
you know what I mean? So I'm looking more at his safety, and I think the team is too. And I think that they don't want to take the wind out of his sails by telling him we're absolutely not putting you back out there,
yeah,
and they're just letting him go about it. And I think it's like it's a point for him to reach. It's a goal for him to reach. It's something for him to strive for. And I
yeah.
think that they're playing on that. But I think when push comes to shove, they're gonna be like, look, man, we want you out there, of course, but no, like
I
no,
agree. I think if as great as Tatum is, like you said, push comes to shove. If I'm Joe Mazzulla, if I'm that front office, I'm saying, Jason, I'm
yeah,
so happy that you got to this point.
yeah,
We're shutting you down
yeah,
because we have, of course, we want to win a championship this year, but we also want to win a championship next year and the year
yeah,
after that. So take the year off, the year and a half, come back 100% next season and be on your revenge tour then,
yeah. That's the way
so
to do it. That's the way to do it.
we'll see. Again, I mean,
I
like you
think the
said, we
team's
we
success
both
has playing a huge part of this. I mean, they're
100%.
they're 37-19 without him. He's looking like, oh my god, if I could just get back out there, we're gonna win it all. Like if I could just get back out there, like, and that's the confidence of these NBA players, professional
Yeah,
athletes in general. He knows that he's one of the best players in the league. Nobody would argue otherwise. And
yeah,
he's looking at this team like, yo, look how good we're playing without me. Like if I could just get back out there and be a part of this, do my thing, then yeah, we're going to the finals. We're beating anybody. So
yeah.
yeah,
Um, so with that said,
yep,
again, we'll see what happens with Tatum, but
yeah,
Boston, 2 seed in the East right now, playing great basketball. Um, are there any teams in your eyes, aside from those four, the
yep.
two best teams in each conference, are there any teams that are truly scary that you as a Knicks fan, or if you're a Detroit fan or OKC fan, whoever, that you're like, yo, I really wouldn't want to play them in a 7-game series?
I think it's the Knicks. The Knicks are scary because
Okay.
we've seen their lows, and I think that that's gonna like you see them get pushed around a little bit by Detroit in the regular season, just like we saw them get pushed around by Boston a year ago. All regular season, they were throttling them all season. Years before that, you see them when they're playing against Miami, when they're playing against even Cleveland, like teams that they beat in the playoffs. You see these things. I think that when we see them play their best games, their best ball, that is when the Knicks look scary. And we know how this team, you see what they did against Houston on Saturday night. That is what makes them scary. They didn't play a great game, the whole game. They were down by 18 points and still found a way to win that game. That is what makes them dangerous. They don't go away. They're hard to get rid of. even when they're not playing their best night, they could still get you. And I think that is what makes them the most scary, like the one of the most scary teams in the league. That's a team you don't want to have to play every night over and over again,
Yeah.
7 times. That you don't want it because they're going to steal at least one or two off you. Which going back to that Boston series again last year, because that's just the most recent information that we have to go off of. They were down 20 twice. It came back and won both of those games, man. So like that's scary. That's scary, And also, if I gotta put another team, like again, Houston, that team is scary as well. And then look, we know the Joker, man. Joker just getting closer and closer. Jamal Murray, I have anointed him as the best tough shot maker in the entire league. Nobody makes harder shots than Jamal Murray. Like contested, guy's hand is in his, like picking his nose, and while he's shooting, he's making it.
Yeah.
Like he's dribbling dudes in his jersey, and he's still finding a little bit of space to get a shot off and knock it down, man. And the biggest, most pressure moments, we've seen him do it in previous playoffs before on their championship run. The Denver Nuggets, man, from that 4 seed, that is a dangerous, dangerous group. You got a 3-time MVP. Jamal Murray's going to be All NBA, as we talked about it this year. I don't
Yep.
know what team, but he's going to be All NBA this year for the first time. And yeah, man, those are dangerous groups. And then I know they're only a 6 seed, but Minnesota, man, you got to look at these guys who have these elite level players. We've seen Ant be so great, but
Yep.
we've also seen the inconsistencies. He's got 37 on one night and then he's got 11 on another night.
Hmm.
That's what we got to get him over the hill. I need to see him average 32, 33 for a series. And when everybody else don't got it. But he's got to have it every night. That's the challenge that's on the table for him and that team. Is he's got to really just that's when it's time to carry the team, he's got to carry the team.
So I
So
thought
those are my
about
teams.
Yeah, I thought about a lot of the teams that you mentioned, whether it's Denver or Houston. I even thought about the Knicks. I mean, again, the Knicks they have expectations. Like you guys
Yeah,
have championship aspirations. So like, I don't necessarily, I wouldn't necessarily put you guys in the category of scary just because the
yeah.
expectation is that you will go out there and perform. But one of the teams that I would be nervous to play is Philadelphia.
Oh yeah,
And, you have Tyrese Maxey,
he's
who
so good.
he's on the cusp of superstardom.
Yeah, he's
He's a
taking that
great
step.
player. He's a great player. He's leading that team. He's the focal point offensively and defensively, largely for that team. Obviously, you got VJ Edgecombe, playoff P at some point. What'd you call him last week?
Positive P, because
Positive
that P
P.
was positive.
He's going to be back at some point. He was playing well.
Yeah,
Um, he's going to come back rested after his 25 game suspension or whatever it is. But obviously the biggest thing is Joel Embiid. He's only played I think it's like 50 or 54% of the games. I think he's played 30 out of their 50 something games right now. But when he is healthy, when he is engaged, when he's on the court, he's one of the best players in the league. And
yeah.
we've seen it in short spurts this year. We've seen just how good he is and he can be. So I say all that to say this. For the last 5 years, every time we talk about Joel Embiid and the 76ers is, hey, they're really good in the regular season, but come playoff time, Joel is so beat down that he can't do the things that he did in the regular season in the playoffs. And they just kind of fizzle out. This year, he's not being
Yeah,
tasked with carrying the
yeah,
team. So as long as they're in the dance and he's healthy, if he's at 85%, I would not want to play that
I
Sixers
agree.
team
That's
because
gonna
they
be a
are
tough
going to
out.
be a handful for anybody that they play in the East.
He's averaging 31 minutes a game in these 31 games he started. So 31 games played, he started all of them. And 26 points and 7 rebounds, man. Like yeah, yeah. He's when he has been out there, he has been effective, and just 30 minutes to be averaging almost 30 points. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So I mean, exactly, and we know what he's capable of, and yeah, this time around in the postseason, he's going to be fresh. So yeah, if they could continue to get contributions from those other guys, Quentin Grimes has been sort of a
Yep.
revelation for them. And but we know what he's capable of defensively. Kelly Oubre as well. VJ Edgecombe has proven to be a really exciting young player. I don't think he's
Yep.
missed a game yet. And yeah, all these guys are contributors. And then you got, guys like Drummond and, and who was it? Trendon Watford, I think is his name, coming off the bench. Yeah, they got some guys. They got some
They're a
guys.
solid team.
They're a solid team. So yeah, they will definitely be a team that's you're not going to want to see them at that
Yes.
6th seed. That's who the Knicks would be facing off with today if the playoffs started. So yeah, they're going to be a tough out.
Speaking of the Knicks, speaking of the playoffs, um, is there a team and or a player that you feel is under a bunch of pressure this year to perform, perform well, and or win a championship?
So obviously everybody knows the Knicks are under an immense amount of pressure. The championship expectations that you mentioned before are on them. But if we're talking about who has the most pressure on them right now, out of any team, it's the team we're talking Tuesday, February 24th, the team the Knicks are playing tonight, the Cleveland Cavaliers. They have sold out. They got rid of their player that they drafted in the top 5, Darius Garland, to bring in James Harden. That was the biggest splash trade of the trade deadline.
Yeah.
They're 12-3 since his arrival. Uh, it's looked good, but we're talking about two guys, and he and Donovan Mitchell, who have not had a lot of playoff success.
Yeah.
So James Harden, he has made one final in his whole career. All the other accolades he has accomplished, all NBAs, MVPs, scoring titles, everything. He's done it. He has done it. Olympics teams, gold medal, all of it. He's done everything else. All-star games, all of it. But the last finals he played in was 15 years ago as a 6th man in his
Yeah.
second year in the NBA.
Yeah.
So on Oklahoma City. So I mean, look, and Donovan Mitchell, I don't think they made one conference finals, Utah, right? I think they made
I
one
don't
conference
even
final.
think they
I
made
don't even
one
know if they
conference
no, I
finals.
don't think so. I think
I
he
don't think they
hasn't gotten
did.
out of the second round yet.
Yeah.
And he's been 1 seeds with the Jazz and with the Cavs and been eliminated in the second round both times. So if we're talking about pressure, this team they've done a lot to build this thing around Donovan Mitchell to put him in position. They got the double bigs that are 2 defensive guys since he's not the biggest defensive guy. Same with it's like the team is kind of built, you know, they're built for this. Like you got the double bigs, defensive guys. Then you got the 2 guards who are dynamic scoring threats, who can make plays and everything in every way. This thing's set up for them, and they got to go out there and get it. So I feel like if they don't at least make the conference finals somehow, then that's the season I mean, any season you don't win the championship, that's the goal for every team. It's a failure, but I feel like it would be a huge failure if they can't get out of the second round. And at the 4th spot right now, they'd be facing off against Detroit. And, if they both get through, so that it's going to be a task. It's going to be a task for them. The playoff race is real tight between 2 and 4 right there with the Knicks, Cavs, and Celtics. They're being separated by a game and a half. So yeah, man, this is this is big for them. This is a big year for them.
And that's funny because literally every team and player and scenario that you brought up is who I had.
Oh my
I
bad.
think, no, you're good. You're
Yeah,
good. Um, most pressure, I think it's James Harden.
yeah,
He's the perpetual nomad. He forces his way out of everywhere and he has very little by way of team success.
yeah.
Like you said, he has the MVP, the scoring titles, the any individual accolade that you could think of, he's got it. He's done it. Um, can he win a championship? And the crazy thing is, the Cavs sold out. Like you said, they got rid of Darius Garland. They brought
Yep.
him in. It's been working thus far. They're not, they're the 4 seed right now. They might be the fourth or fifth best team in the East. Like, even with him, with or without James Harden, I don't think they were winning a championship.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, I don't think they're making the conference finals.
Yeah.
So, like, what was the point of the move was to win a championship. I just don't know that James
Yeah.
Harden was the guy that's going to get you
Yeah.
guys over the hump.
Yeah.
At some point, we're gonna have to, and I feel like we've started to have the conversations,
Yeah,
but like
definitely.
really uncomfortable conversations about who James Harden is as a player. He's gonna go down as an all-time great.
Absolutely.
He's gonna go to the Hall of Fame. There's no doubt about it. But in terms of like team success, he's, aside from the year that he was
Yeah.
sixth man and he wasn't the priority where the
Yeah.
team wasn't running through him,
Yeah.
he hasn't had the team
Yeah.
success.
He does
You
not
know, so
impact winning in that way. All that he does great, and he does a lot of things great.
he does.
He doesn't
I,
that doesn't impact winning. It doesn't
man,
impact winning the way you think. And it's not like they were just barely getting knocked out of the playoffs. Like he's not losing these series all in like 7 games, and they're in, or like some crazy injuries are happening. Even though Chris Paul did have an
Chris
injury, but
Paul, yep,
that was a tough year that they had a shot that year. I think they were playing so well that was his biggest or his closest chance, I think. But yeah, otherwise they've been eliminated in some pretty unceremonious ways. So yeah, man, it's the pressure's on for them
yeah,
to produce something. Because yeah, you're not. I know you're saying like yeah, he's been great so far, and it's not they're not going to make a championship, but that was the intention from the front office. Like
yep,
that was they brought him here to do that. So for purposes of answering the question, yeah, the pressure is on them the most.
yeah.
Those two players.
Um, And then I do think you mentioned it. There is a lot of pressure on the Knicks, as you know. In any sport, your championship window opens and closes very quickly. Um, you guys came in with very high expectations. I know you and I we were talking on Twitter last week, and I think Cat is the key to unlocking all of this.
Totally the
Um,
catalyst. The
you know,
catalyst.
obviously he seems to still be figuring out how he's going to play and operate in this system, in this role.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said on Twitter, he's got to be dominant. He has to be the second best player on this team if you guys have any chance of winning a championship. If you don't this year, I know you probably know better than I do, but you've got, like Mitch Robinson, I think is an
Contract year.
unrestricted
Yep.
free agent. I think a couple guys, Shamit, maybe
Yeah.
Jordan Clarkson, they're unrestricted free agents.
Yep. Yep.
So I got 2 questions for you and we'll wrap it up. One, just an update on the Knicks per the usual, but also if the Knicks were not to win a championship this year, your core is still under contract. Brunson, Cat, OG, Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges. Is that team or is that core good enough to compete next year, the following year, if you guys were to not win a championship? And then we'll just wrap it up. Knicks, how are we feeling right now? What are we looking at in the next week and down the stretch of the regular season?
If they don't win, you can't bring back the same group exactly like that starting lineup. You can't run this back again. They're running it back right now from
Yeah.
last year. So you go 2-0. You go 0-2 on trying to get to a championship. You got, I'm not saying you sell the whole farm, but maybe you take a Mitch and Bridges and try to swing it for something else, to get in here and make a switch, just something to split, to shake things up, see, and just try a different approach. Maybe get some guys who
Fair.
fit Mike Brown's system a little bit better, because these guys were brought in under Tom Thibodeau's system. So
Yep.
maybe,
Yep.
you work with Mike Brown to see who better fits his system, who he thinks better to fit that will fit his system, so that they can make another run at it with Brunson and whoever it is. I'm not gonna suggest any names or anything like that.
Sure, sure.
I don't care as long as they help me get a championship before I die. I don't care. That's all.
Fair enough.
I don't care who the players are. But yeah, and as far as right now, look, Cat, like you were saying, we need him to be great to win. He's not, and I said this on Twitter. He wasn't brought there to support Jalen like he's been saying and support the captain. No, you were brought there to be him, to be Jalen, like as well, like that dual threat, that 1A and 1B style. Like that is the thing. He needs to be aggressive. Jalen doesn't and shouldn't have to score 28 every night. Cat can go
I
out there and
agree. Yeah,
score 25 a night easily, easily, and from everywhere on the court. And it all starts with his approach. I think it's big, big, big. And Mike Breen said this on the broadcast when they played the Bulls over the weekend. When you get him a sweat, and who know? Oh, you know who also said this? NBA Radio, Rob Perez. Shout out to Rob. He he said it when Cat gets early touches and sees a couple go through, or he gets to the free throw line and knocks them through, and he gets a nice sweat going, and now he starts moving different. Now he's playing defense, giving you better effort. Now he's in and out. He's over here on the outside knocking down threes. When those things happen early, you're gonna get the best version of Karl Anthony Towns. You got to get him involved early and often. I think Jalen is a smart player, one of the smartest players in the NBA, and he understands that now. That look, I don't have to be timid, but I can get him involved early and often, and get these other guys involved early and often, so they're not just watching me. Because Jalen's game could kind of lull you to sleep, even if you're on his team. He's a
yeah,
point guard, backing people down. It's you know what I mean, posting you up.
yep.
It's kind of crazy to watch, but yeah. I think he's focused on it. I think Mike Brown is starting to understand it as well, that we got to get this guy some touches early. And I mean, he's taking like 12 to 15 shots a game. Yo, you could run those up. Like Cat could be
I
taking
agree.
16 to 18 shots a game. I am down for it. He was 5 of 9 from 3 alone in Chicago. And like that is what you brought him here to do. That is when it makes a difference. So yeah, man. The team I think is going to be fine. Like I said, they're sitting right here at 3, but they're right behind Boston. They can pass them. They play them head to head another time. They got the head to head against Cleveland tonight to create a little bit of space in the standings there. So I think that it's important, that they just finish up the rest of these final games strong and get healthy. Deuce McBride will be back soon. We're finding out what we have in Sohan and Jose Alvarado has been a revelation, huge part of what they've been of winning that game against Houston. You see, they sat down Mikal Bridges, a starter, in the final minutes of the game to
Yeah,
keep Jose Alvarado and his energy and his impact in the game, and that made a huge difference. So yeah, man, it's gonna take the roster was built like this. It's going to take the whole roster. Everybody needs to contribute for them to get this thing done, and I think they're more than capable. So just finish up the season strong, man, and let's get to the playoffs. I'm ready for the playoffs. I'm ready right now. I know they're ready right now. This is kind of the dog days of the season where,
yeah,
like I said, we're getting to about 3/4 of the way through those final 20 games, the last month and a half. This is it. This is it. March is on what, Sunday? Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, this is that last month and change of season left, and so yeah, it's time to you don't really make too many statements in the regular season. I'm finding now that my team is a perennial playoff team. It doesn't really matter as much,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean. You can show people, and show yourselves what you're capable of, and I think that that's important. Get your best games out there.
We'll be locked in.
Yes.
I'm a Knicks fan by
We need it so
association.
bad, man. We need
I'm
it so
ready. I'm
bad.
ready for Madison Square Garage to
Oh
open
my
up. They got to
God.
get a
Get this
little warmer
snow
out.
out of here. Get it out of my life. Oh, I just want to open my garage and watch
Bro,
games out there.
bro, we got
That's
more
it.
snow coming tomorrow.
I
I heard
can't
more
take
snow
it.
next week.
They said like a big one like this, like yesterday to next week. I
Yeah,
can't. Where do we put it all? It has to
there,
be able to,
there
we
is
have to
nowhere to put
melt
it.
some.
It was
It's,
literally we were trending in the direction of the snow melting,
I
and
saw
then
grass. I
we
saw
got
grass
dumped
before.
another 20 inches of snow. I'm over
Yeah.
it. I'm
I'm
over
so
it.
sick of this. Punxsutawney Phil,
It's his fault.
like, I got beef with you. You should not have. You should not have said what you said, Phil. We got beef, man. You better get
Man.
down in that freaking hole, because I'm coming for you. Duck down, Phil.
Let's get out of here, man.
We hunt
Um,
gophers,
we got to, man.
or groundhogs, or whatever you are.
He's a groundhog, but like I feel like he's said this in the past, man. 6 more weeks of winter or whatever it is,
Cap.
and it hasn't been this bad for whatever reason. It's too much.
Where's
It's too
Gene with
much.
the cap emoji? That's what we need. Gene for that cap.
Let's get out of here.
Let's
My
go.
name, I'm Johnell. This is my guy, Matt Price, Cash Walk In. This is Heat Chat powered by Designated Report. We will be back with y'all next week.
Yes.